You may have come across this in the news in the last month, that there was a jailbreak at the Adelaide Zoo recently. You may have heard about it on the news. In fact, this jailbreak made the news all over the world. If you don't believe me, Google it. Something about an orangutan cleverly escaping her captivity clearly captivated the imagination of a lot of people across the planet, me included. Why should this be? This incredible worldwide uptake of a story from little old Adelaide where nothing happens, apart from multiple homicides. Why this incredible uptake worldwide? Was it a slow news day all over the world? Is it just more evidence of the fact that news has devolved into mere amusement and that monkeys are, well, funny? Or is it so unusual anywhere that it's newsworthy everywhere? Or does it play to fear? You know, wild animals busting loose. What next? Lions roaming the streets? Is anyone safe? We interrupt this program to bring you the following news bulletin. A gang of enraged gibbons have managed to tunnel out of the zoo today and were seen heading in the direction of the fruit market. Citizens are advised to remain indoors and hide fruit from plain sight. But I trivialize. The ape escape itself is a whole lot less compelling to me than the global fascination with it. Why? For one thing, and I think one reason is it's just a great story. And it has the great structure of a great story. How and why she escaped, and what she did when she got out. A little background first. Use your imagination. Her name is Karta. She's 27, from Indonesia, about 5'2", 62 kilos, reddish hair, and eyes that seem to look straight into your soul. And I think I love her, despite the fact that she has the intelligence of a 5-year-old human, or maybe because of that fact. But it's okay, Karta loves another. Her partner of many years, Pusung, had died recently, and she's been, evidently, grieving. And as pain, want, or necessity are the mothers and stepmothers of invention, Karta managed to channel and sublimate all of her grief to achieve, before the aghast onlookers and the aghast zoologists, a kind of mini-evolution, one of those evolutionary leaps that are said to produce sudden mutations in an organism. This leap, it seemed to me, encapsulated all of the major psychological stages of human history. Stage 1, evolution stage 1. Karta, the tool maker. Karta had already worked out that if you touch the electrified fence, it hurt. Now this is where my ape ancestors' evolution would have stopped. It would have been zzz, ow, zzz, ow, zzz, ow. I'd still be there. But if you touch it holding a stick, it doesn't hurt. Stick not like hand. Stick is magic. This particular stick? No, all sticks. Our sticks are our friends. And thus Karta worked out how to use a tool, a stick, to short-circuit the electric fence. Fence no longer a barrier. Fence now just a climbing frame. Tool making, once thought to be exclusive to humans, is, not just in Karta's case, firmly within the tactical repertory of orangutans. Evolution stage 2, Karta the Renaissance ape. Shorting out the fence with a tool is one thing, but getting outside the fence and realizing that the fence itself is within a sunken enclosure with a high wall must have been a real blow. But no, she has planned for this. Near the enclosure wall, which was in itself impossible to scale, was a big pile of branches garnered over preceding days without anyone taking any notice. Some of these branches had to be bartered for from the other orangutans. No one noticed her careful plan, which revealed a capacity for imagining a future and for abstract thinking and for social negotiation. The question seemed to be driving her, what would it be like if I got over that wall? And now she compiles enough branches outside the fence to climb up and atop the enclosure wall, which she does. Carta looks out over the zoo, the neighboring parklands, and off into the distance to the city, strange and wonderful in the fading afternoon light. Evolution stage 3, thoroughly modern Carta. She is now free. She's entirely without enclosures. She's free, too, from the old gods, the higher beings who used to produce food for her in such a way that she was supposed to think it was hidden. Apparently that keeps them occupied. She worked that out a long time ago, too. Humor them. I have more in me than they think. She is free from these greater beings and from the familiar landscape of her entire world. Now what? She spent half an hour up there just considering her options. Would Pusung be out there somewhere in the vast unknown? How will I find him? Will there be others out there who will help me? What will out there be like? Will it hurt? And so, with a thoroughly modern freedom, Carta has a thoroughly existential problem. Being free, what am I to do? Evolution stage 4, a postmodern Carta. Orangutans, as you may know, are a critically endangered species and plummeting toward extinction. There are 1,000 or so left in rehabilitation centers in Sumatra and Borneo. Their habitats are vanishing as the more numerous planet mates, us, consume ever more of the resources that comprise their habitat. And if no forest survives, where will they be released to when they've been rehabilitated? Well, there are zoos, of course. And let us be clear, a zoo is a kind of a prison. No matter how well fed you are, no matter how well appointed the surroundings, no matter what array of culturally suitable diversions are stage managed for you, you're still in an enclosure. Think about it for yourself. Think if you were told you were imprisoned in a hotel, a good 5-star hotel with a pool and a spa and room service and laundry service, and the only caveat is you can't leave. The French philosopher Foucault writes that actual physical domination of people is no longer required in a postmodern world, but can be achieved through isolation and the constant possibility of observation. The zoo cage, in Carta's case, is like a small theater. The organism is perfectly individualized and constantly visible, much like, well, like us in the postmodern world, perfectly individualized inside our private dwellings, and always observable through literal observation, through, by the way, the cameras that are springing up constantly in public spaces, right through to the electronic monitoring of workers, through data monitoring of marketing companies that track your purchases online, to credit agencies that do likewise, ATMs, insurance companies, telecoms, all of whom know your every electronic move. Not to mention the government. To be alive today is to live in a society being constructed where all our behavior is regulated through the fear of theoretical observation by powerful entities. If you don't believe me, go to your web browser and turn off the cookie settings. Cookies are little marketing tracking devices that record where you visit. And just see how many websites you can get to. Not very many. We don't need to be microchipped in the 21st century. We can be found anytime by anybody who wants to. So, having killed the all-seeing, all-judging God, we have remade a social order in His controlling image. We are seen, but never see our controllers. We are the object of information. We are never the subject in communication. Carta's prison, like ours, has been internalized. Welcome to postmodernity. So back to Carta, now with limitless possibilities of freedom before her and years of institutionalization having been internalized inside of her, what did Carta do?